we're going to learn about cellular respiration and ATP. ATP stands for Adenosine Triphosphate. Tri stands for 3. So think of it as like a tricycle has 3 wheels. So ATP has 3 phosphates. The P is the phosphates. And the mitochondria is an organelle you find in plant cells and in animal cells. And they're the ones who make ATP. They synthesize ATPs. So ATP, what's really important about it is the phosphates. And you notice at the very top when you have 3, it's like a charged battery. You break off one of those phosphates and now it's like a dead battery. So we call that ADP, diphosphate, adenosine diphosphate, like carbon dioxide, CO2. So notice ADP just has 2 phosphates. And then it goes back and forth. So this is actually a cycle. So we'll start at the top. We have our ATP with our 3 phosphates. We break off one of those phosphates. We put one of those phosphates on another molecule like a protein, and energy is released. We're now stuck with ADP, right? And our dead battery. So how do we make it back into ATP? We do cellular respiration. So you'll eat some food, you'll eat some glucose, right? Or break it down into glucose. And we'll do cellular respiration. And that cellular respiration is what adds on that 3rd phosphate to make ATPs. And this is how the cycle continues. So now all of a sudden we have our ATPs. What's really important is that phosphate. So you notice our ATP attaches onto a protein, right? In that example would be a kinase enzyme. And you notice a phosphate is added on. And now we just are stuck with ADP, right? Phosphate's been added onto that protein. And we're going to say that protein has been phosphorylated. What you should think of it as, that protein's now activated. It can do work. It can do something. So when that phosphate attaches on, that's when the energy is released. And that's when the protein becomes activated. Here's an example. Notice in like step 2, we have GDP, and we add on another phosphate. Now we get GTP. Okay, and over here in step 4, you notice we have an ATP molecule. We break off 2 phosphates to that enzyme, and then we are left with an CAMP, so cyclic AMP. The M stands for monophosphate, or 1 phosphate. And here's another example, right? We have some insulin receptors. Those are just enzymes or proteins. And notice at step 2, we have a whole bunch of P's, or a whole bunch of phosphates attached on. When all the phosphates are attached, we're saying that protein's been phosphorylated. It's now activated. And in step 3, it does a process called signal transduction. And really what's happening is that protein is now doing work for the cell. It's actually signaling inside the cell. And this is how glucose is brought into your cells. So you notice phosphates are providing the energy for proteins to do work. I hope this was helpful. Thank you.